Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you are absolutely amazing. All right, so today's update, I don't think it's going to be too long. We never know. Firstly, I want to say that I love MTOPS, obviously. It's just so incredible. I was curious this morning. I wanted to see how far in advance we called these moves. And I saw over here that as far back as the 10th of May, is when I said Bitcoin traveling into an uptrend. It seems that way. Then continued it. Well, I suppose on the 14th, well, this 2 days ago, we gave it two options just to protect ourselves in terms of the hedge after the repositioning that happened. And what remained, though, all the while is I'm actually keen to actually go back to this later on. I see the path in which I said I was going to take, and it looks like it's following that verbatim. And then just watching it build out progressively along the track, and also speaking to as to why there was a bit of a downturn by mentioning that the price action is at its most risky when it's nearby a recent turning point, and that nodal point does give it a little bit of swing energy, and then once it's found its track, it's pretty decent to ride, which it's good, right? For anyone who would like to forecast the future of price action ahead of time, 6 days in advance, then stop wasting your time with the losers and come join the winners. Like, we know what's going on. I don't think anyone else out there has got this level of accuracy. So bring it on. Come learn from the master. I'm pretty good at mentoring. Just a shout out to Tundi and Ramsey and the guys who are passing the challenges right now. When you learn MTOPS, you not only learn how to forecast the future of price action ahead of time, but you also learn how to trade efficiently and also have the mindset required for that to all come together. And these are some of the students that came in not really knowing what to say to their relatives when the question was asked, like, what are you doing on the computer? What is that? They would kind of like shrug their head and not really be able to describe what markets are, how to profit off of them, and all of that newbie stuff that most go through. So straight from grassroots to now passing the prop firm challenges, which is some of the most difficult things to do in the world of trading because of all encompassing. You got to have the right risk ratios, you got to have the right mindsets, you got to know when to avoid trades, when to hold trades, when to open trades, and how to close them effectively. And the position sizing is quite a detailed environment if you want to trade with the big boys. And it's now been a year, and the results are there for the taking for them in particular. They've transitioned themselves from something that is new and uncertain and weird to something that is now profitable for them. And they are master traders. So shout out to those guys. Some more shout outs real quick. I think I can close that. I just saw this morning how cool it was to see all the boosts that came through yesterday. So thanks, guys, for being happy about my happiness, and thanks just for being good people. It's awesome to be a part of a collective community that's uplifting and getting stronger and better and more capable at a future-proof mechanism such as the markets. And the love is so appreciated, even from Angus. Shout out to you, Angus. Donated 100 coins. This is Angus from Tradingview. So clearly some good information is being shared here and something I'm quite proud of. So thanks, brother. All right, let's get back into the market. Man, I'm tempted to go back to the profile and just revisit the forecast just to really enjoy seeing this pattern play out as I said it would, but I'm not going to do that. Let's move forward. Or should we? This is the box I had down, the threshold that I said price would cross. That was back again about a week ago when price was here. And I said it'll go up. That's exactly what it's done. Then I said I was going to go down a bit and then back up again. So we'll see if that comes true. I'm pretty sure it will. But again, this is mystical magic unraveling right here. In terms of the 128, we've got this trying to push to arc 5 over there. So the transition is not quite done as yet. We're going to see how it resists at arc 3 on this look forward chart, and then see whether or not we can ride that down a little bit on the lower time frames, or just wait for the next anchoring location to come in at and then ride that back up. Now, just a word of warning for those who don't know about the calm before the storm and calm after the storm. This is typically what happens, right? So what I'm talking about is when there is this quote unquote storm, this big action, the market chills out for a bit. Think of it think of it as college students having like the night out. So let me go all the way back here, in fact. So maybe the weekend before is a bit of a bender. They went out until way after 12 and came back the next morning absolutely wrecked after their night out, and then just kind of built themselves back up again to reposition themselves for another major night out. Here comes Wednesday, midweek party. You're invited out. One drink turns into many. Bang. Fun night. Everyone having a great time. Out after 12 and then crash. Hung over Thursday, Friday, and then Friday night. First tequila opens up the gates, and then boom, a massive night out. Now, again, as you can see, after a major night out, there's got to be a chill out period. Like, there's not endless energy, and even the college students, right? And the same thing for the markets. After the storm, there's consolidation or there's calm. Storm, calm, storm, calm. So today is a higher risk day. I'm not necessarily going to open up positions. So I'm going to allow it just to anchor itself in, to sober itself up, get its bearings, and then from there we can take further action. Now, I've got a student, Russ, who asked about the position sizer that we developed, which works great with prop firms. It takes the lot size, position size, it converts it into dollar value, which is something that you want control of. And his question was, do we need to have a target set or not? Real quick, before I chat to that, you see here that I've run into some losses. I'm still doing some stress testing with the position closer. I want to see what it looks like when the computer falls asleep and it comes back on again, and other variations of that, just to ensure that we are not working with something that's going to be another kind of flash in the pan algorithm setup. And there are many out there. There's so many duds that exist in terms of EAs and all that sort of thing. So I want to make sure that this is robust and it works in all conditions and it's trustworthy, because when you've got an open position, it's always good to have it trustworthy, which means I'm not trading at my absolute best. And that's why I've taken on some losses. But what I want to point out is that the losses I actually realized when we open up the customized position size that works the prop firms, other people's money, having liquidity pools that are into the hundreds of thousands at your fingertips. In other words, I was waiting for it to load. The losses, because of it closing on instruction as to the strategy, cumulatively, okay, the losses that add up together are less than a single stop loss in a traditional setup. So what do I mean by that? Well, okay, so I'm waiting for that to load. But what I mean by that is when you're working with the risk reward ratio of 1:1, for example, and just for simple math's sake, you open up a position of $100 around about there. You can either have it climb to $100 or you can lose $100. So if, for example, the trade doesn't work out, you get stopped out, you stand to lose what you put in. All right. So $100 could go to nothing, or $100 could give you back $800. The point I'm trying to make is that with this position closer that I've now coded, 3 losses don't equate to the equivalent of what would be one loss in the past. So these three losses don't even make up $100. And this is just me keeping it conservative during testing phase, but this could be $2,000, $1,500, $2,300. So maybe let's say we put down $1,000 for easy math. Instead of losing a total $1,000, the equivalent over here, if you just kept it relative, would be around $500 collectively versus $3,000 loss if the three stop losses were hit. You don't understand, guys, if you're new to trading, how valuable that is. 500 cumulative loss versus $3,000. Trading's trading. I wasn't on my best here. Excuse. Whatever the reason, losses came in. But would I take $500 loss instead of $3,000 loss? Absolutely. So please, guys, make sure you're getting familiar with coding. Code the equipment that you need to make sure that your downsides are best taken care of, and you don't necessarily run into the same turmoil and stress that traders used to in the past. We live in a different era now. You can code things to help you, and this is very much helping me, even on the downside. In terms of the upside, I do have a little bit of a gripe to pick with it because, well, in a humorous way. And what I mean is, this $360 could have been $950. So I put in over here, you can't do the direct calculation because it works with the variable of price at the time and all the complicated stuff. And that's why we've got tools to handle this thing. But I put in $100. It went to 3.5x, okay? $360 from $100 profit. So $100 in, on top of that, return $360. And the laugh that I have about that is that it could have actually gone to $900 or $850, but unfortunately, which is the funny part, it hit target before my position closer closed it, which would have been a lot higher. So I'm kind of laughing now at my life at how I'm kind of getting upset that targets are getting hit. I mean, it's a good place to operate from. So let me just resize this, try to get that tool back up and running. Unfortunately, when you're running things within things, and this instance, I've got a Windows software operating inside a Mac. There can be little hiccups and irritations, which is part and parcel, I suppose, of the experience. I'm just going to close the whole thing down and restart that. And then answer a question that one of our community members, Ross, asked about how to remove a target so that it doesn't get hit and you can just allow it to run. And especially in my instance where I want my closing code, there it is, to close the position instead of the target itself. So Ross, basically what you do is you utilize, step one would be go to max. Okay. Another way of doing it, before I even do that, you can go to manual and then put in the amount you want to close in manually. So that's obviously working with the targets and with the strategy and the different thresholds, the manual. Or the quick fire way is just to go to risk reward ratio of 1:5. You can see them as they adjust over there. So safe is 0.5, moderate is 1, 1:1, max is 1.5. So 150% of what you put in. So if you put in 100, you'll get $150 back. And then manual, you can just put in whichever amount you want according to the price action. Now, what I would do is just go to max, so 1.5, and then open up the trade. What you do is you drag and drop that to the right position. Let me try one more time to open up. I'm not sure why it's giving us hassles this time around. Normally it happens when it's a live video in front of other people. But let's do it anyway. Okay, there we go. Now it's moving. Now the position size relative to the stop loss is now set. I'm going to go to that target 1:5 and then open up the trade. Just because it's demo, I'm going to keep it small, or demoing to you at least. It's a live account with real results. And then open up that trade. because another trade is open over here. And Ross, what you do is when you have the open position, you go across to TP, that stands for toilet paper. Joking. Take profit. So you go find the take profit, and then you hit the X on that, and you cancel the take profit, and then you'll see there's no take profit line. Right then it's gone. So your take profits out the way, and then you can manually close it, especially if there is a lot of price action. For example, what we saw yesterday, and you don't want it to stop at target. You want it to run as far as it needs to. Obviously, utilize the Tradingview tools to be the judge of that. Don't just go in blind hoping for more. Have educated thresholds as to where you want it to get to, and then take target away if you need it to go. That's how I'm going to trade from now on, because my position closer is going to work with the strategy of closing in at the next kill zone, or the next formation of the next turning point, and I don't need to worry about it hitting target anymore. It'll just be a gift reception from my side, from the market, instead of my managing the trade manually. So even here, when I see minus 36, typically my old self, talking about last year and before then, would go and manually close this just to accept the loss and just move on. But because I've got a position closer at work for me, I'm just going to allow it to close out. And again, my stop losses aren't being hit. So my code identifies a bad trade ahead of time before the price even gets, I'd say, within range of the stop loss. So it gets me out in time, and I can wait for a better setup if the market's too quiet or whatever the case may be. And again, 3 losses equate to what it would have cost for the 1 loss in relativity. And that's just the world I want to live in. So again, guys, get coding, get to understand your needs, build it into mechanisms, plug it into whatever you're using. If it's Coinbase or Binance or MetaTrader, and you're using 100,000s of this, is you can have many accounts. This is just one account of 100,000. You can have up to about $400,000 dollars per person under management with a single prop firm. So it's pretty relevant. I'd say worthwhile getting your skill up to speed to do something like that. Um, Yeah, so multiple losses don't even equate to one anymore, which is great. Once the markets are hot again and I'm trading properly, I'm not just testing the position closer to make sure that it works every time, then my confidence levels are going to be so much more at ease and a lot stronger than they've ever been. So, guys, I can't say it enough. Start building for yourself. Start creating ecosystem that will support you. And for those who are familiar with prop firm trading, I'm sure you've run into the problem of what lot size or volume size to put in. We've gone through the same pains, and we've created tools with 1,500 lines of code behind this little box over here that works with all the mathematics of the volume coming in, the it iterates every single time there's a little movement in any shape or form on the charts, and it's consistently updated and accurately updated, and it's proven to work. So if you're interested in tools to support your trading, and you want to trade other people's money and stop wasting time with your own account, then come through to me. Yeah, our guys are doing really well, and the things that I'm building are fantastic. So you'll receive this on joining MTOPS, as well as obviously the strategy to forecast the future of price action well ahead of time. Again, record this action 6 days ago. Okay, it's all time and date stamped. I can't delete or edit that in my TradingView library. It's all there, so go check it out. Don't just take my words for it, especially those who are skeptical. Don't blame you, because a lot of shysters out there. And although it's not my initial intent, but I'll probably make it available to others who are interested and sell the position closer if it's something of value to guys like myself. I don't know. I got to stress test it first to make sure it's worthy for sale. But so far, so good. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.